us to start? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kingston Memorial Center and Queen's University campus for this Game 2 of the OUA Women's Hockey Championships between the Queens Gales and the Western Mustangs. My name is Kyle Compo, and I'll be here calling the play-by-play. And I'm here with Paul Elsley, who will be calling the color commentary as we get set for puck drop here for Game 2. Gales took the opening game by a score of 4-0 up in London and have the opportunity here to clinch the OUA banner and jump in to the CIS National Tournament happening at the University of Toronto. As we list today's starters, beginning with the visiting Western Mustangs, in goal will be number 35, Kelly Campbell. On the blue line, number 4, Sydney Kidd, and number 8, Madison Turk. And up front, number 22, Cassidy Gosling, Brittany Clapham, and Carly Rolfe. Starting roster for the Queens Gales, in goal is number 35, Mel Dodd-Moore. On the blue line, we have Danny Gerard and Katie Duncan, and up front, Shauna Griffin, Kristen Smith, and Chantel Moret. And I'm going to pass it over to Paul, who's going to break down today's game with the keys to the game. Paul?
Yes, I think the first thing Western has to do is get out of the fog they were in, having played so poorly in the first game. I think they were still riding a high from their victory over Laurier. And their goalie, Campbell, did not play particularly well in that first game, and I think you can expect her to play more like she has in the other games. She's got 3 shutouts in the playoffs so far. As far as Queens goes, I think we want to see them continue to play the fantastic defense they have been playing throughout the playoffs, shutting teams down, and we need to get off to a good start, knowing that Western is going to come out firing on all cylinders.
Thanks, Paul. And this is do or die time for the Mustangs. As we said before, this is a best-of-3 series, and the Gales took the opening match by a score of 4-0. Western playing with their season on the line here, and they're bound to come back and rebound here and put a ton of pressure on the Gales as we are a minute into the opening period here, and all the pressure coming in the Western defensive zone. Gales play it at mid-ice. Puck spread out to the wing. And chipped away there by the Mustangs, but held in at the line. Number 11, Chelsea Verbeek in with the pressure there. Western with the coming advancing into the defensive zone. Shot in on Mel Dodd-Moore, who pushes the puck away. Brought back out by the Gales. And it'll be a defensive zone face-off coming in the Queens defensive zone here.
One of the other things I should have mentioned about Western is they need production from some of their other lines. Their top line has produced all their scoring and not much of it, to say that. So some of the second and third lines for Western are going to have to rise up and produce some goals in this game.
And Western generating some pressure now. And it's the Mustangs once again as they get the puck back into the Gales zone. As they come off for a quick change. Queens advancing the puck back out of the zone. Battle in the neutral zone here in the early going between the Gales and Mustangs. Western looking to keep up the pace and the tempo here in the early going. Looking to take advantage and take the Gales crowd out of it here. Gales get a shot on goal, stopped by Campbell. Rebound stopped by Campbell as well as it goes in behind the Mustangs goal. Gales creating some offensive pressure here, back to the point. Shot deflected in and tipped by the Mustangs. Puck goes into the corner. It's a fight for it in the corner there. And the Mustangs clear the zone as it goes down the wing. Intercepted there by Taryn Pilon, dumps it back into the zone for the Gales. And another neutral zone turnover as the Gales retain possession. And once again, Mustangs making a charge. Mustangs playing it out in front. Meldad Moore had to be sharp there to turn the puck away. And here comes a breakout here. Number McAfee breaking out one-on-one. She gets a shot that goes just wide. Gales trying to create and get the first goal here and take the wind out of the sails of the Mustangs. And they've had a couple opportunities here. Here's Jacqueline as she breaks down the right side. Puck played out by Campbell. Still in behind the net. Campbell on her stomach. And the puck is cleared down the ice.
I should mention that both these teams are here by virtue of upsets in the semifinals. Queens defeated Guelph 2 straight, and Western upset Laurier in 3 games, winning 1-0 in the final. So it's somewhat expected that these two teams are here.
Puck comes out to the Gales zone. Western with some pressure, generating an odd man rush coming down. And the Western Mustangs get on the board first as the odd man rush isn't picked up by the Gales defensively, and they were able to generate a lane and go low blocker side. Mustangs on the board first, leading by a score of 1-0. Less than 4 minutes into the game here.
And that's exactly what the Mustangs needed to do. Having played so poorly on Wednesday night, they needed to get off to a good start, and that goal's got to have them fired up.
Queens coming back with some offensive pressure as they get a shot on goal. Kelly Campbell holding on to the Stanks, as she doesn't want to give the Gales any opportunity here. And Campbell, as we mentioned in the start, Paul, is a huge part for the Mustangs in their success this season.
That's right. She led the league in save percentage and was second in goals against average. So she's a tour de force.
And she'll have to be big here once again if the Mustangs want to force a deciding Game 3 here on Sunday at the Memorial Center. As the puck advances into the Gales' defensive zone, Mustangs trying to bring it out of the corner. And Queens retaining possession, cycling the puck behind the net. Trying to break out of the defensive zone as they dump the puck in, icing waved off. Mustangs with possession behind their own goal. Trying to break out for another offensive rush. And the Gales chip that away as they come away with some pressure. Marley Fisher advancing in for the Gales as they call an ice. The puck will be brought back down into the Gales' defensive zone. Once again, the Mustangs on the board first, leading 1-0 here in Game 2 at the Kingston Memorial Center. Brought to you live by Queens TV. Mustangs win the offensive draw as they try and get it back to the point to create some offensive opportunity. Chipped into the corner there. And it's brought back out by the Gales. Courtney Jacqueline chasing the puck in behind the net for Queens. She tries to generate some offensive pressure. Kept in there by the Gales as they do the dump and chase and try to generate some offensive opportunity here. Mustangs cycle around behind the net. And Western kept back in at the line there from Queens. And the Mustangs play it behind the goal, looking to advance up the side. And they go cross-ice pass, picked up there by the Gales. Offside deflected down. Another long shot in on Campbell as she continues to freeze the puck, not giving the Gales any offensive opportunity.
One of the strengths of the Gales is at center. They typically win 65% of their face-offs.
And even though they lost the draw, they retained possession in the Western zone. McAfee working behind the net. Puck still in the defensive zone for Western as they try to advance the puck past the blue line. And they do so there, coming up the left wing. And it's McAfee once again for Queens. Turnover at the neutral zone. Pending offside there, warning on the Western Mustangs there. Puck comes out, McAfee shooting it on net as she goes off for a change. Campbell deflecting the puck out to the side as they advance. Try to go cross ice, but is intercepted there by the Gales. Jacqueline once again as she chips it into the offensive zone. Gales not able to generate much offensive pressure here as they're continuing to battle in the neutral zone with the Western Mustangs. As they look to rebound here and even the series up at 1 game apiece. Katie Duncan advancing in for the Gales as she holds the puck, shoots it out in front, but is deflected away by a Mustangs defender. Gales still retain possession, and a shot on goal, a little too high, and is controlled there by Campbell. She brings the puck down for another face-off in the Mustangs defensive zone. Gales starting to generate a little more offensively. Paul, is there anything you see from the Gales that they need to do to move forward here?
Well, they just don't seem to have the same kind of jump I'm used to seeing them play with, and so they've got to pick up the pace.
Mustangs into the Gales zone as they come up the right wing. Cycled around, another turnover in the offensive zone. Here are the Gales. And it's Brianna Azzolino turning the puck away. As she breaks down the left side, puck goes cycled around the corner. Sent up to Ali Biglieri there.
And Sam Regier share time on the third line, alternating shifts. They both had a significant impact, especially Ali, who's got 1 goal here in the playoffs.
A lot of offensive balance for the Gales so far in these playoffs. The playoff leaders, Taryn Pilon and the McAfee sisters have been huge for the Gales offensively.
Looks like a penalty coming up to Western.
And it looks like the referee signaled for contact to the head, but we'll see. Head contact is the call. So it'll be a 2-minute penalty here for the Mustangs, as that brings out the Gales power play. Paul, which in the playoffs has been impressive so far.
Yeah, it sure has. We struggled during the regular season, but we're operating at about 23% success here in the playoffs.
So the official tally is a contact to the head penalty on number 5, Michelle Saunders, as the Gales go to the power play, as they try to even the score here. Gales working it around. They generate up. McAfee working on it in the corner, as she seems to have lost her stick, but the Gales still retain possession, and it looks like it could be a penalty coming up here to the Gales.
I think it's going to be against Western again.
Yep, you're right, Paul. Looks like it's a penalty coming up against the Mustangs, so that could send the Gales to a 5-on-3. As they sent Mel Dodd Moore to the bench temporarily, but she'll come back in now as the whistle is called there, as they call the Mustangs there for a hook. And that'll send the Gales to a 5-on-3 for at least 1:06.
Yeah, McAfee had the puck coming across center ice there, and one of the Mustangs hauled her down.
Gales will look to take full advantage here. McAfee taking the draw for Queens. One back to the point to Katie Duncan. She cycles it over. Back to Duncan. Trying to find the lane. Shot in front there is deflected away by the Mustangs defense and is sent past the blue line. Gales trying to regroup. Duncan with the puck. She advances it into Danny Gerard. McCaffey with the puck now. Back to Gerard. Katie Duncan at the point. Duncan to McCaffey. Duncan to Fisher. She gets a shot in and deflected in on the rebound there. Looks like McCaffey in the middle as she was able to pick up the deflection off the original shot, and she buries the rebound home. Gales draw even at one apiece.
Yes, that was Brittany McCaffey with the goal and a very nice deflection on a shot from Marley Fisher at the point.
Still a minute 13 remaining on the Gales power play. As we mentioned, they're 5-on-3 for Queens with the original penalty with a head contact, second penalty with a hook. Gales score before the expiration of the first penalty, and there's still over a minute remaining here. The Gales could definitely take advantage and reclaim the lead here. As the puck is found in the crease there, and this time Campbell covers it up as she sees the puck in the blue paint. Not making any mistakes this time, as she puts a hand on it, forcing a face-off.
That was my mistake on the goal, apparently. It was Danny Gerard at the corner of the net, not Brittany.
Danny Gerard, the official tally, coming from Katie Duncan and Marley Fisher, as the Gales even the score up here at 1-1 in Game 2 of the OUA Women's Hockey Championships here from the Kingston Memorial Center. Gales leading the series 1-0 and can clinch the title here. It's Seeley from the point. She gets a shot through. It goes just wide.
That was Gerard's second goal of the playoffs. She's a defenseman, but on the power play, they've moved her up to forward, and she's done a great job.
Gales playing behind the net as they try to generate an opportunity in front. Back into the corner. Gales retain possession. Duncan once again as it goes into the corner. Mary Coughlin playing it out for Queens. She finds Seeley at the back as she gets a shot on goal, deflected out. And the rebound turned aside as well as the Mustangs get it out of the zone.
Time for one last rush here on the power play. Let's see if they can do something with it.
3 seconds remaining in the penalty to the hook called on the Mustangs as she's now out of the box. McCaffey in the corner. She sends it out front, but no one there for Queens. Puck clears the zone. Deflected back in for the Gales. Mustangs look to reset now that they're at full strength. Mustangs with it in their own zone. Trying to cycle up the boards as they get it out of the zone. As number 13, Cassie Rosen advancing there for Western. Casey Rosen, excuse me.
She was going up against Katie Duncan, who's perhaps one of the fastest skaters in this league, and there was no way she was going to beat her on that rush.
And the transition out for the Gales. The scramble in front of the net, but is deflected away. They tried to hold in at the line there. It is held in by the Gales. Sent around the corner. Seeley up to play it for Queens. Seeley again. Gets a shot in, deflected away by the Mustangs. And another offensive opportunity on a rebound there.
Great play by Sam Regier, who managed to get a stick on that puck and force Campbell to make a save.
Number 97, Krishanda Green clearing it out of the zone for the Mustangs as the Gales are generating a ton of offensive pressure here. And this time it's Mary Coughlin who sends it in on Campbell. And she has a glove save and again holding onto it, trying to slow down the pace of the offensive Gales right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the tide has turned here after that extended power play, and Queens is now looking far more like the team we've seen throughout the playoffs.
And there's another goal for the Gales as the shot from the point is deflected in front. There's a mad scramble, so we'll have to see who gets credit for it. But the shot from the point again caught Campbell off guard as there was no telling where the puck was going. Deflected in for the Gales, and they take the lead by a score of 2-1 with 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the opening period.
I'm pretty sure that was deflected by our captain, Kristen Smith. Another deflection off a shot from the point.
And we'll see what the official tally is here once we get the call over the PA here. But it very well could have been Kristen Smith out in front of the goal as the Gales, as we said, Paul, the momentum shifting after that long power play for Queens. Gales now in control, leading 2-1.
Kristen has had a great year, and she has a knack for scoring big goals for this team, especially at moments when we really need some kind of momentum. And I'm pretty sure she was standing in front of the net, and I think she got a deflection.
And Kristen Smith does get the tally there for Queens. She puts them up 2-1. Gales trying to put the hammer down here and create some more offensive production here as they have the puck. Gerard passes over. Puck played in behind the net. Mustangs advance with the puck. And the Mustangs break out of the zone. No offside call as it stayed inside.
That was a bad break. It hit the linesman right at the blue line because Gerard had cleared the puck nicely.
Seeley trying to go up the boards to McAfee. It was blocked there by the Mustangs.
Congratulations to Alicia Seeley, by the way. She was nominated for the all-rookie team in the OUA. Well deserved.
Coughlin with possession for Queens. As she just shoots it in as the Gales make a defensive change-up. Bounce awkwardly off the boards. Campbell had to be sharp there as the puck came off a sharp angle and bounced right in front of the net, catching everyone off guard. Mustangs with possession. There's a break for Western. As they get on, Mel Dodd-Moore with a great stick save there. She deflects the opportunity away from Western to even the score. Gales advance out of the zone.
That was LaShonda Green wide open in front of the net. She also was named to the all-rookie team this year and is one of the scoring threats for the Mustangs, but Dodd-Moore shut her down.
Sydney Kidd advancing the puck for Western, but is turned over. Gales trying to advance back out of their zone. Goes in behind the net. Seeley with possession. She sends it up the boards. Oh, she tries to have a stretch pass there. Stuck in the feet. Gales advance with the puck. And it's Coughlin for Queens. Coughlin going back up the boards. Touched there by Griffin. As McAfee advancing into the right corner. She tries to get an opportunity. Marley Fisher with a shot. Deflected off Brittany McAfee. And Fisher shooting it around the boards. Coughlin up to play it for Queens. And Western cutting through the middle, trying to bring the puck out. And they do. Icing waved off. Mustangs make a change. McAfee along the boards deflects it out. As the Mustangs chip the puck into the zone. Trying to generate some offense here and leave into the first intermission, tied at 2 as they find themselves trailing 2-1 in this with their season on the line here in game number 2. Queens taking the first game by a score of 4-0. The Mustangs have broken the deadlock by opening the scoring here and getting their first goal of the series. But Gales with 2 quick ones coming off the power play. And Queens leading 2-1.
I agree. I think Western needs to get the equalizer here before the end of the first period, as much for a moral victory, having started the game so well.
Regier turning the puck over there, and the Mustangs called for an offside. Looked like they were trying to generate that offensive production that we were looking for. 1:57 remaining here in the first period. Queens leading Western by a score of 2-1. Draw won by Griffin. Gales get the puck out as they advance into the Western zone. Michelle Saunders playing it around for the Mustangs. And it's deflected out of the zone. Held in at the line by the Gales. Chipped in past the net. And Western able to clear it out. And it's held in once again by Taryn Pilon temporarily. Western trying to make a final push here with less than 1.5 minutes remaining here in the first period. And it's McAfee as a solo effort, and she comes up the side. But she's met by contact from the Mustangs.
She looked like she may have been hurt on that play too. She took a pretty hard hit into the boards.
Final minute here in the opening frame. Once again, Gales leading Western by a score of 2-1. As the Mustangs play it back in their own zone. Michelle Saunders playing it up the wing. And it's Galloway. She gets the puck stolen there. Nice offensive pressure there from Chelsea Verbeek. Western coming away. And it's Verbeek once again. She plays it behind the net. Met by Western.
Looks like Western might be getting another penalty here.
It looks like they're getting a goaltender interference call coming up with just 18 seconds remaining in the opening frame.
Number 13 shoved one of the Queens defenders on top of the goalie.
And it looks like that's number 13, Casey Rosen, going off with 18.3 seconds remaining in the opening frame. And Paul, if the Gales can generate something here at the end of the first period and go up 3-1 into the first intermission, they could be looking very pretty going into the rest of the game.
That's right. Western has got to stay out of the penalty box if they hope to have any chance of winning this game.
Griffin advancing the puck in. Katie Duncan trying to hold it in at the line. And she does so. Oh, and a shot on goal just as time was expiring there from Brittany McAfee. Takes us to the end of the first period. Started off well for the Western Mustangs as they got the first goal less than 6 minutes into the contest. But it was a tale of two periods as the penalties from the Mustangs gave the Gales great opportunities, and they took full advantage as they scored one on a 5-on-3 and one shortly after the expiration of their second power play. And they were able to come away and turn the momentum around. Queens leading Western by a score of 2-1 after the opening 20 minutes. Paul, any thoughts on the opening period?
Well, I'm sure Coach Holmberg is very happy with the situation here at the end of the period. There's no doubt that Queens dominated probably the last 2/3 of that period. And, you know, it's going to start the second period on the power play as well. It's a good place to start. They stayed out of the penalty box and they scored 2 goals. Mel made a couple of big saves for them as well. So I would say Coach Holmberg's got to be very pleased with the state of affairs.
And as we mentioned, the Gales getting one on the power play, which has been their forte in the playoffs, as they're operating at around 24% on the power play, which is tops among OUA playoff teams. We take a break as we come back for the second period. Stay with us on Queens TV. And welcome back as we get set here for the puck drop here in the second period between the Queens Gales and Western Mustangs in Game 2, the OUA Women's Hockey Championship. First period recap. Gales scored 2 goals behind Danny Gerard from Katie Duncan and Marley Fisher, and Kristen Smith with the second at 13:50. Western's opening the scoring in the 4:21 mark of the opening period. And the Gales there getting on the board here, less than 30 seconds in, 25 seconds into the second period, as it is batted home there. No defensive pressure there for Queens, or for Western, as it looked as though they were wide open and just buried.
Looked like McAfee scored off the rebound. That's exactly what Western didn't want to have happen.
And the Gales were entering the second period, as we said. Western committing a penalty with 18 seconds remaining in the first period. Queens starting the second on the power play as they net their second power play goal of the game. And to get back just to discuss the opening period, Paul, Western badly outshot by the Gales by a 19-7 mark.
Yes, after that first 5 minutes of the period when Western started well, they had virtually no offense, and Queens dominated the rest of the period.
Mustangs trying to get back on board as Griffin comes up the left side. She's in all alone. Just shoots the puck in, and she comes out for a change. And is run into by her own player, with Regier making contact. Puck comes down the ice. Dodd Moore deflects it out into the corner. Marley Fisher bringing it around the boards. And it's Verbeek as she plays it back to Fisher. Fisher with a stretch pass out to Regier. She tries to advance in. Campbell with a touch pass behind the net. Mustangs bringing it out. Courtney Jacklin with the puck. She dumps it back in. And it's Danny Gerard playing it out. She goes off the side boards. Mustangs trying to generate some pressure here in the early going in the second period as they find themselves down 2 goals with their season on the line. Gales in an offside position. McAfee dumps it in as the Gales go off for another change. Gales retain possession. As they get a shot, a trickler in, goes just wide. Fisher calling for it back at the point. It is touched there by McAfee. Fisher, as she goes wide. Back to Fisher. As she gets her shot blocked in there by the Mustangs. Tipped into the corner. And the Gales with all sorts of momentum here in the early going. In the second period, holding a commanding 2-goal lead. Fisher dumping the puck in on goal. Campbell plays it out. And she holds on for a draw. Oh, looks as though the referee's going to let it slide. Touch pass up. Kristen Smith advancing in for Queens. And it's called an icing, and we'll see an offensive zone face-off for the Mustangs as the puck comes all the way back down the ice to the right of Mel Dodd Moore.
Queens has been playing exceptionally well here in the playoffs. They have 5 of the top 7 scorers in the OUA at the moment during the playoffs. And 2 of them are on this line.
Queens advancing the puck out. As it's Pilon, she comes down the right-hand side. As her shot gets blocked. Verbeek playing the puck back in for Queens. Gales making a change. Celia and Coughlin back out on the blue line for Queens. There's a break here for Queens as they turn. Oh, and the puck trickles in. A little dancing move there from the Gales. No defensive pressure there from the Mustangs as the spin move catching everyone off guard. And it looked as though Campbell couldn't get an eye on the puck. And it trickles between her legs. Gales in full control of this game right now, leading by a 4-1 mark, less than 4 minutes into the second frame.
I couldn't see who that was who got the goal in front, but it was a very nice play by Chelsea Verbeek on the boards to keep the puck in the zone and send it toward the net.
McAfee winning the draw. Played up, McAfee advancing in as she meets Kidd in the defensive zone. Courtney Jacklin getting credited there with the Gales goal. Western pressing here. Chapman advancing in on the puck for Western. Played around the boards. And a penalty coming up here to the Mustangs. And it could be a 4-minute mark. And it looks as though they're going to give her a roughing, so it looks like it should just be a 2-minute call. But that's the Mustangs being undisciplined in the game once again. as that looks like it's Gosling getting the penalty there for the Mustangs, sending the Gales back to yet another power play.
That could easily have been a 4-minute penalty. She dumped her straight into the boards, and she could have been injured. Courtney Jacqueline has been a great addition to the team this year. She narrowly missed the all-rookie team and was third in rookies in the OUA in scoring with 21 points.
Gales power play going back to work here as they look for another odd man score here. Gales setting it up. Seeley dumping it into the corner there for Pilon. And it's played around to Coughlin. Back to Pilon. In front is Coughlin, and it's met there by Campbell as she has the glove save, giving the Western fans something to cheer about. But it still remains 4-1, and as we mentioned, Western back in the box as Gosling being called for roughing, but as we said, it could have very easily been a 4-minute double minor as she made contact from behind and sent the Gales into the boards. But Queens will take the odd man opportunity nonetheless as the Mustangs penalty kill dumps it down the ice. As they try to create some pressure here is number 10, Marlo Pecora. And it looks as though it might be the Gales going to the box, and it is. Queens called for tripping.
Yeah, it was Katie Duncan. It was unfortunate. She didn't see the player in behind her, and I think she just inadvertently tripped over her stick.
And it is number 13, Katie Duncan, going to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. A minute after the Mustangs were sent to the box for roughing. So it'll be a 4-on-4 here for a minute until the one power play is expired, and then Western will go to the power play. Gales advancing out is Seeley. She finds Coughlin. Coughlin advancing over the blue line. Kristen Smith out in front. Coughlin can't find her as the puck. Smith with the puck now. She tries to get a shot that is deflected out by the Mustangs. Seeley keeping it in at the line as Western tries to reset. Number 88, Scott, who was the Western goal scorer. She is a threat. Comes in a 1-on-3. Doesn't get a clean shot off.
Yeah, Scott was their leading scorer this year with 28 points.
Mustangs with an opportunity here. As it's still remaining 4-on-4. Gosling out of the box as it's now a Mustangs power play, and Mel Dodd-Moore smartly covering up the puck as she realized that Gosling was coming out of the box and would create an odd man opportunity for the Mustangs. And it'll be a face-off to the left of Mel Dodd-Moore coming up.
The biggest question heading into this game was who was going to play goal for Queens. They've got two outstanding goalies, and Savage had a terrific game in the first game against Western. But Dodd-Moore has played exceptionally well, and it's a luxury for Coach Holmberg to be able to pick from those two goalies.
And both goaltenders ranking in the top ranks for OUA in terms of goaltending statistics. But it is Mel Dodd-Moore giving the Gales the chance to raise the banner here as they lead 4-1 in Game 2 of the best of 3. Gales leading the series 1-0. As the Mustangs try to respond on the power play here is Scott playing it into the corner. Played back to the point.
Gerard has lost her stick out in front of the net there. Hopefully they can get by.
Tara Cashin pinching in, but is deflected away from by the Gales there. Power play still going. Cashin with the puck at the point. She finds it into the corner. Puck out front for Scott, and she scores! Stacy Scott in the right place at the right time as the puck was advanced in there by the Mustangs. Scott saw it sitting in the blue paint, and she chipped it over Mel Dodd-Moore for hers and the Mustangs' second goal of the game. Western trimming the deficit in half, trailing 4-2 with 13:18 remaining in the second period. And that sends Katie Duncan out of the penalty box and back onto the bench as the Western Mustangs chip away here and are within 2 goals.
Yeah, they certainly needed that, and we'll see if this shifts the momentum at all, because it was all Queens until then.
And a chance here for Queens is caught there by Campbell as she covers up. And as you mentioned, Paul, Western needs to take advantage of this momentum swing here and not let the Gales get another goal here and turn it back in their favor. If they can hold them here and try and get another one before the end of the second period, they could make things interesting heading into the third. Puck won there by the Gales. Chip back to the point is Coughlin as she shoots it in. Tipped out by Western is Green chasing Coughlin. Coughlin dumping it in as the Gales make a change on the blue line. Katie Duncan back into the game for Queens. Played behind the net as Western tries to come out of the zone. Tip past the Gales there. Here's a 2-on-2. And an opportunity there for Rosen, but as it goes off her stick. And it's Shauna Griffin dumping the puck in for Queens as she makes a sub. Fast pace coming here on the heels of a Western goal that trimmed the deficit to just 2 after falling behind with 2 quick goals from the Gales to start the second period. Puck held into the line there by Clapham for Western. Played up the side by Duncan. Regier can't clear the zone for Queens. Puck cycled around, kept in at the line by the Mustangs. Deflects off a Western stick and behind the glass. Western retaining possession deep in the Gales zone. Queens needing to clear it out here. Couple of lanes built in there for Western as the Gales retain possession on the turnover. And here's a break, a 2-on-1 for the Gales. Verbeek with the puck. And she sends it over and it's tipped in front. And the puck saved by Campbell as she inadvertently knocks the net off. And that'll create an offensive opportunity with an offensive zone face-off for Queens. Great save there from Campbell and what could have been a very different outcome and sent the Gales into a 3-goal cushion once again.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Western has taken advantage of that goal to get back in this game. You can see they've had a real boost from that power play goal.
Queens with possession. Goes back to the point. Seeley's shot is blocked. McAfee back around the corner. Western tries to clear the zone. It's held in there, and here is Scott. She looks for the hat trick for Western. Deller with a shot that goes off Dodd Moore and out and wide. Seeley trying to play the puck around. Deflects off the side of the net. Cashin plays it in. There's an opportunity for Western, and the shot goes just wide. Seeley trying to play the puck out. She finds McAfee. She goes to her sister. She advances the puck in by herself. She gets a shot on goal, and Campbell with a glove save. Western not playing for a whistle as there was no offensive pressure coming for Queens. No ice called. Gales try to play the puck out. Looking for the icing call there is the Gales bench, but to no avail. Western retaining possession. No ice called once again. Western creating a ton of offensive pressure here as there's a big collision. It looks as though the Gales could be going to the box for a tripping call, but that looked like it was just a high-speed collision in the corner. Both players going for the puck.
Yeah, it looks like Duncan again.
It looks like it could, yes. Look, Katie Duncan going to the box, but she looks like she's a little worse for wear after that collision in the corner.
Yeah, another unfortunate penalty. Now, Katie made the second-team All-Star team again this year. That's the second year in a row. She's one of the top defensemen in the league. We need her on the ice, not in the penalty box.
Duncan going to the bench and not the penalty box, so we could see a wash of that first initial call. They could see it as an incidental contact.
Well, that would be a great break if that was the case.
And it looks as though they're changing the call here, Paul, as Duncan makes her way into the box. Gales frustrated with the call as they thought it was just a collision. Referee comes over and tells the bench that Duncan, in fact, is going to the box, and Western back on the power play. If they can generate some offense here and get another goal, this could really change the pace of the game here. Gosling with the puck. She goes back to the point. It's Cashin with a shot. Deflected there. Nice shot block in there by the Gales. It's number 12, Samantha Regier. Cashin quarterbacking the power play at the top of the circle. Gosling with the puck on the wing. She goes back to Cashin. She tries to hold it in at the line. No pressure there. She has no trouble doing so. Gosling at the top. She gets a shot in. Dodd Moore sees it the whole way. Rebound is there. Mustangs score! And it looks as though it was Gosling once again in the right spot on the power play for the Western Mustangs. And if Katie Duncan didn't feel bad enough after making collision, she's been in the box for the last 2 Mustang goals. And Paul, they really turned things around here. As we saw in the first period, it was a tale of 2 periods. So far, it looks as though it could be the same here in the second.
Yeah, that's right. We stayed out of the penalty box for the first period, and that's one of the other keys to success for this team. If we can stay out of the box, teams aren't going to beat us. But when we spend time in the box, we get ourselves into some trouble, and we're in trouble right now.
Chantel Murray advancing the puck there for Queens as they try to get back on the board and try to take the sails out of the Mustangs right now, who have definitely built some momentum. Western in the offensive zone once again. Turned away by Mary Coughlin. Mustangs again. Turk plays it in for the point from Western.
On that Western goal, Kristen Smith was the one who took that block shot, and she hobbled off the ice. Let's hope she's okay.
Chantel Murray trying to play it out for Queens. Kept it in the line by Turk as she dumps it in behind the net. McCaffey playing it out. And the Mustangs make a change after the long-range shot in on goal.
That was a bad turnover. We didn't get the puck out of the zone and had an easy opportunity to do so.
No penalty called on the contact there. Shot on goal. Another shot in front. Chance for Western. And Dodd Moore puts the pillow down and comes up with a big save there for the Gales. McCaffey trying to play it out. And it is dumped out. A couple of the Gales. Katie Duncan once again looking a little worse for wear, and it looks like Morgan McCaffey. Brittany McCaffey, excuse me, looks like she is hobbling her a little bit. Icing called on the play. It'll be a defensive zone face-off for the Gales as they try to once again neutralize this Western attack that has really come about in the last 10 minutes or so here in the second frame. 8:03 remaining in the second period. Queens leading Western 4-3.
Looks like Queens has called a timeout here to try and regroup. It's a good opportunity to give a shout out to all those families and friends who are unable to be here in person. I'm sure they appreciate the opportunity to see this game over the web. And a special welcome to the Western crew, the girls from Queens who are from Calgary and Saskatchewan. A shout out as well to Coach Holmberg's parents, 2 of the biggest fans, Russ and Paula, who are vacationing in Florida right now and no doubt watching the game on the web.
And we mentioned the timeout. Coach Matt Holmberg talking to his players, looking to get the Gales crowd back into this as well, as they've definitely played a factor in this game so far, but all the momentum favors the Mustangs at the moment. They've scored the last 2 goals to take it from a 3-goal deficit down to just a 1-goal marker. And it looks as though they're going to do a redraw on the face-off.
This is a big face-off, and it's not surprising that we've got our best face-off person out there, although she just got kicked out.
Mustangs win the draw. Played in around the corner. Turned over. Gales try to play it out. No penalty called on what looks to be a tripping call there in the defensive zone. Nonetheless, Gales retain possession. And they're calling offside there on the Gales as the Gales advance past the blue line before the puck. That'll come back outside the zone. Verbeek taking the draw there for the Gales as she wins it back to Katie Duncan. Duncan chips the puck in as the Gales try to create some offense. She runs into Campbell there. No call on the goaltender interference. It looked like it could have been embellished a little bit. Coughlin playing it up. Chipped in by Courtney Jacqueline as she tries to play it out. And what are they going to call here?
This looks like one of the Western players got injured. I'm not sure there's a penalty call.
Well, it doesn't appear as though there's a Gale heading to the box, but they're calling for the training staff to have a look.
Sounds like the Western coaches are upset there was no penalty called there.
And they're lamenting for a penalty right now, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. The last handful of penalties coming against the Gales, the last two specifically coming by Katie Duncan, the last of which is a little controversial, but nonetheless, Western buried on their last two power play opportunities, so the Gales are happy that they're not going back to the box here. It's such a tight game.
I see our captain's back out on the ice, so she's been able to shake off that hit. That block shot, I should say.
Western trying to advance the puck out of the zone. To do so, stretch pass up the middle. Mustangs advance. Oh, and a great opportunity there in front, but it can't get a stick on it as the puck sails just wide. Saunders back to play it for the Mustangs. Saunders with a stretch pass across the ice as she intends it for Brittany Clapham, but she can't pass. And the Mustangs make a change. Gales coming out of the zone. Goes through some legs. Cashin back to play there against Chantel Murray. Puck there, played along the zone.
This must be interesting for Chantel. She used to play for Western, but came to Queens for grad school to use up her last year of eligibility.
Katie Duncan playing the puck behind the net for Queens. Pressure there from Western's Turk, number 8 on the blue line for Western. Western jamming away at it, but it's covered up by Mel Dodd-Moore. Mustangs hacking away, trying to get another goal. 6:07 remaining here in the second period. 2 goals apiece from either team here.
Queens isn't playing with the same kind of urgency they did for most of the first period. They need to somehow find it.
Draw won by the Gales as Seeley plays it behind the boards. And the stretch pass a little too long, but it looks like it's going to be on. Nope, just goes past the goal. Icing called on the Gales. That'll go back into the Western zone. Sorry, excuse me, back into the Queens zone. Icing called on the Gales. And then setting up another offensive opportunity here for Western. Kendra Deller taking the draw for Western, and she wins it back. Turk with a shot as she fans on it. And that's deflected out of the line. Pilon chasing down the puck. It stretches wide. Kristen Smith there. Played up. Gales making a full change as they get some fresh legs out. Regier, Verbeek, and Jacqueline up front for Queens. And the Mustangs advance the puck out. Number 55, Kendra Deller once again for Western. Deller with the puck in front of the net. She gets a shot away, but deflected off pads, and Nell Dodd-Moore making the save for Queens. Deflects it off the boards. No hold in the line there from the Mustangs as it hits the linesman. No offside called. And it's deflected and pushed out once again. And this time deflects into the Western bench as we'll get a face-off outside the zone here.
The winner of this series, of course, will be the Ontario representative at the Nationals beginning next week in Toronto, and it's being hosted by U of T.
Face-off won by the Gales. They deflected up the zone. Stretch pass back around. Cashin trying to play it for Western. Met on the right side by the Gales. Murray into play. And it goes off the boards. Katie Duncan traps it down with her hand and makes a nice heads-up play. Gales trying to open up the ice here and slow things down a little bit. Kristen Smith advancing in over the blue line. And she drops it there for McAfee. Smith getting the puck out. She's tied up. And it's a scramble. The puck's still loose. Referee a little premature on the whistle, but I guess he lost sight of the puck as we get an offensive zone face-off for the Gales to the left of Campbell. Queens looking to restore some momentum here with 4:25 left in the second period. We're leading 4-1, but Western has rallied back with 2 goals of their own and now only trail 4-3. As the second period draws near to a close. Still in the defensive zone for the Mustangs. Gales keep it in at the line. Shot in by Coughlin, but is caught there by the Mustangs as they bring the puck out. Odd man rush for Western, deflected into the corner. Coughlin trying to play it around for Queens. Coughlin retaining possession behind the net. She brings the puck deflecting off the glass, hitting a linesman once again in favor of Western. Green advancing over the line for Western, and she's called for the offside.
Queen's a little careless. They've been guilty of a number of turnovers this period, which hasn't helped matters at all.
Puck coming outside the zone here for the face-off called on the offside. Face-off won by the Gales, but has not cleared the zone. And this time finally brought out past the blue line. Nice deflection tip there as Taryn Pilon comes up the left wing. Deflects into the corner, played out by Turk. And is met in the corners. Both teams fight it out. Deflected back around the net. Here's another nice break for the Gales as they try to chip it in front of the net. But the Mustangs advance with the puck. Katie Duncan there to intercept the pass as she advances and called for the offside. Courtney Jacqueline not able to get back in time as the Gales make a full substitution. Face-off to come with 3:05 remaining in the second period. You're watching the Gales and Western Mustangs in Game 2 from the Kingston Memorial Center. Brought to you by Queens TV. Gales advance in the offensive zone. Deflected there. And it's McAfee as she plays it around to McAfee. And deflected in there by Murray. And the net comes off as the Gales looked as though they were going to make an offensive push there. And some pushing and shoving going on behind the net.
I don't think the referee saw it. The linesman sure did.
Doesn't look like there's going to be a call there on the extracurriculars happening behind the net. It looked as though that was McAfee who was getting pushed down.
Brittany likes to mix it up, and sometimes she gets those calls and sometimes she doesn't. Should mention that Morgan McAfee was picked to the first team All-Star again this year. That's 2 years in a row. And she was third in the league in scoring. She's leading all players in playoff scoring.
Mustangs clear the zone, looking to generate some offense here as the second period dwindles away. Kristen Smith advancing in. But no, to no avail there. The Mustangs clearing the puck. Held in at the line. And no clear shot away there. But the Gales retain possession. Deflected out in front. And a nice stick lift there from the Gales. But it's Scott coming away as she advances in. And a great defensive play there from Queens.
That was a nice
takes
recovery.
away a full breakaway there. That was Seeley, as we mentioned, on the all-rookie team for Queens this year. And she did a veteran-type play there for Queens. Mustangs enter the zone. Pilon with the puck. She sends it out to Verbeek as she stretches in down the left wing, trying to see a pass where she can generate some opportunity. Gales with some good pressure coming here now. Verbeek back to Pilon. And it is cleared. Held in the lineup by Marley Fisher. Gales don't get a clear shot away. McAfee with the puck now as she comes off the bench. And she gets a shot on goal. And contested there by Campbell as she turns it away, and no rebound there for Queens. Western retaining possession, trying to clear the zone and try to swing the momentum back in their favor, as right now it's all on with Queens with 1:07 left in the second period.
Yeah, Queen's doing a great job of keeping pressure in the Western zone, and that's certainly the way they need to finish this period.
As we mentioned, the Gales got off to a strong start in the second period, getting 2 goals in the first 4 minutes of the second period to go up by a 4-1 mark and looked in command of this game. But 2 penalties to Katie Duncan that were both capitalized on by the Mustangs has them back within striking distance as we wind down here in the second period. Last minute of play. Western trying to advance and try to tie the game before the end of the second period here. And they clear the zone. Shauna Griffin looking to make a play. And it's Duncan once again behind the net for Queens. She finds McAfee. It's Shauna Griffin advancing for Queens. She plays it into the corner. Gales making one more substitution to have one last push here with under 30 seconds remaining in the second period. Puck going the length of the ice. Another icing called on Western, and they'll have to stay on the ice.
Watch for Morgan McAfee's line to come out so Morgan can take the face-off here.
And the face-off will come in the offensive zone for Queens as the Mustangs committed their second icing in consecutive plays. And the Mustangs win the draw, which is huge for them as they try to get out of this period unscathed here. Battle with the blue line, won by the Gales. 10 seconds remaining here in the second period. Looks as though Western's just going to slow things down and play to the buzzer and try to prevent the Gales from getting any more offensive opportunities here, and that's exactly what they do, holding on to the puck behind the net. And that takes us to the end of the second period. Queens leading Western by a score of 4-3. But as we mentioned, Paul, Queens came out firing here in the second period to take a 4-1 lead and looked in command, but Western with 2 quick goals of their own to bounce back.
Yeah, Queens certainly had a chance to break this game open. In fact, it even looked as though they had done so. Western seemed pretty discouraged and took a couple of bad penalties themselves. But they're back in this game, and anything can happen here heading into the third period.
Yeah, the body language definitely looking a lot different for Western in the latter half of that second period. But we head into the second intermission. Come back with us on QTV as we're in for a great finish in Game 2 of the OUA Women's Hockey Championships. And we're getting set here as we're still in the second intermission. 1 minute remaining in the intermission as we get set for what should be a very entertaining third period here between the Western Mustangs and Queens Gales. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the winner of this playoff series will go on to compete and represent Ontario at the CIS National Championships held in Toronto.
Yeah, 4 of the teams have already been declared. The reigning champ, Calgary. The second team out of the West is UBC. The ex-women from St. Francis Xavier have qualified, and of course U of T is going to be there as well. We're still waiting on the Quebec Conference winner and the Ontario winners.
And as we mentioned, this is Game 2 of a best-of-3 set between the Gales and Mustangs. Queens winning the first set in London by a 4-0 mark as they return home to Kingston for Games 2 and possibly a Game 3 set up on Sunday here at the Memorial Centre. But the tale will be told after the final 20 minutes or more here as we get set to drop the puck here on the third period.
We should mention that we missed the fact that Kelly Campbell, Western's star goalie, went out injured at the end of the first period. So they've gone to their backup goalie and in fact dressed their third string goalie now that Campbell cannot play.
Number 33, Olivia Ross, who's now manning the goaltending duties for the Mustangs. As we have McAfee going up against Rolfe, and McAfee wins the draw to start the third period. Contact there with Gerard and Gosling as the puck goes into the corner. Gosling with the puck for the Mustangs as she goes cross ice. And is chipped up by the Mustangs as they try to create some early pressure here in the third period and even the score up at 4. Gales pushing out of the zone. As they go up the wing, it's McAfee who gets chipped up. And Western playing it off the sideboards. Brittany McAfee taking over for Queens. She hands the puck forward, and the Gales make a change. Moray, Griffin, and Smith on for the Gales up front. As there's contact to the goalie, and it looks as though we could see a penalty here to the Mustangs as they're called for goaltender interference. It looks as though it is number 97, Krishanda Green, as she couldn't put on the brakes and she runs right into Mel Dodd-Moore. 2 minutes, goaltender interference. Gales back to the power play.
That's a great break for Queens here, and hopefully they can take advantage of this.
And by virtue of the penalty coming to the Western in the offensive zone, the puck was delivered into the Western defensive zone, but it's chipped into the bench. Puck will be dropped to the right of Ross, won by the Gales, as Pilon gets it back to the point. Pilon working it around. Kristen Smith working it in the corner. And the Mustangs clear the zone as Coughlin skates back. Here is Seeley. Seeley holds up behind the net as the Gales try to advance out and reconstruct their power play. Push past. Number 18, Shauna Griffin in on the play. And the puck is cleared out once again. Pressure coming from the Mustangs as it's a race to the puck with Seeley. Let the Gales retain possession. Queens coming out of the zone. Here's Gerard. And Gerard loses the puck. Chip back out by Saunders. Dodd-Moore playing it. A little miscommunication there. Western with the puck shorthanded. As they try to come out of the corner and try to kill off this power play as effectively as they can, and holding the puck in the corner is a great way to do so. Gales coming out. Gerard. She passes in McAfee now. Stick check there by the Mustangs. Puck goes in behind the net. Gales chipping away at it. It's Gerard there in front, but is covered up there by Olivia Ross. As we mentioned, is now manning the goaltending duties for the Mustangs as Campbell went down after the first period with an injury. Ross covering the puck up. Gales with another offensive zone opportunity here on the power play.
Finally a bit of a spark there for the Gales on the power play. That first minute was pretty awful.
Gales trying to recuperate here with 40 seconds remaining in the power play. Kristen Smith playing it along the boards, and it's chipped out of the zone. Great penalty killing so far here from the Mustangs as the power play is almost drawn to a close. One last push here for the Gales. Smith chips it into the corner. And they can't hold the line as it chips past Seeley and all the way back down to the Gales goal line. 10 seconds now remaining in the power play for Queens as they look to get one more shot here before we see Green come out of the penalty box. Queens with an opportunity. Green coming out of the box, and Duncan can't create it. Lucky they didn't generate a fast break opportunity there for Western. Nonetheless, Gales retaining possession. Shot out in front, and they score! As soon as the power play expires, Gales generating some offensive pressure, and they were able to get the puck out from behind the net. And it looks as though it was McAfee once again for Queens, as she was in a great position, found the lane, and shot it over top of the shoulder of the Mustangs goaltender Ross. Gales back up by 2, leading 5-3.
Penalties and power plays have really been the story of this game, and even though they were back at full strength there, it was right at the end of that penalty, and I think, you know, again, the team that can stay out of the penalty box in this third period is going to win the game.
We've seen a number of special teams goals in this game so far from both teams. As we saw, the Gales got off to a fast start in the second period and expanded their lead to 3 goals. But the Western Mustangs chipped away at the end of the second period, getting 2 special teams goals of their own. So Queens needs to hold off Western here and be a little bit more disciplined in the defensive zone. Gales playing it along the boards. Puck scrambled along the side. Gerard comes away with it, and the puck is flipped out. It goes past Saunders as she skates back to regroup as the Gales make a change. Moray and Griffin out on for Queens. And we see Perahi coming down the right sideline, or left sideline, and she gets a shot on Dodmore. Chipped in, Saunders keeping it in for Western. And it's Scott. It's 2 goals scored already by Scott as she's looking for a hat trick to keep Western's momentum swinging forward. But they're going to have to generate some more offensive opportunity as the puck is jammed along the sideline, called for a dead play.
Taryn now has 3 goals against Western in these 2 games. She's been a bit of a Mustang killer for us. She is a sharpshooter extraordinaire and has, I think, 2 power play goals.
Elon, the second-year player, has been great for the Gales in these playoffs. She continues to produce here for Queens. Western coming back. Scott with the offensive opportunity that goes into the corner. And it's played out there by McAfee as the Gales are called for the ice. No touch called on Western as McAfee was lamenting for a call there, but it doesn't appear as though a Mustang got their stick on it. And as such, the play will come back down into the Gales zone as they're called for the icing. 15:40 remaining in the third period. Queens leading Western 5-3 here in Game 2 of the OUA Women's Championship in a best-of-3. Queens leading the series 1-0 and can claim the OUA title with a victory here, while the Mustangs will be looking to push this to a deciding Game 3 here in Kingston on Sunday.
That was a nice play by Marley Fisher to deflect that clean shot attempt.
Jammed along the wall again. This time the Gales come away with it. Western with some offensive pressure, trying to create some opportunity. Gales clear the zone as it can't be held in by the Mustangs. Neutral zone battle here. And is deflected back into the Gales' defensive zone. Played out to Jacqueline along the side. Courtney Jacqueline creating some pressure. Regier up front for the Gales as well. Mustangs coming into the zone. They play it out to the wing as number 51, Caitlin Gosling, getting a shot on it. Gosling, one of the top point producers for the Mustangs this season. And Western needs her now more than ever as they trail by 2. Queens coming out of the zone up the right-hand side. So Gosling got a bit of an elbow up, but no call there on Verbeek as she comes off to the bench. Nice touch pass in from Moray as she advances into the zone. Kristen Smith going to create pressure behind the goal. And the Mustangs do a good job coming away with it. Green along the side. She goes cross ice. Pass intercepted. Gales retain possession. Coughlin with the puck. Deflected there by Chantel Murray. Kristen Smith coming into the corner. She's got Griffin with her. And Griffin falls to the ice. Still trying to create a play on the ground. No ice called. Clapham coming down for Western. And she gets an opportunity, but it's deflected away from Dodmore. The collision behind the ice. Western bench looking for a penalty. It's not going to come. Saunders at the point. Deflected through. Dodmore sees it coming. And the Gales clear the zone. Brittany McAfee along the right-hand side. McAfee in on goal. No trip called as McAfee is taken down, but the puck remains with the Mustangs. That could be the referees trying to give one back there as the Mustangs were pleading for a penalty just seconds ago. McAfee back to the point to Fisher. She gets a shot that goes just wide. Fisher playing it in. Here's Rolfe now. Rolfe playing it out. And Fisher intercept. Here's Verbeek as she goes just wide. Nice blocker save there from Ross. Verbeek once again. And Western finally clearing the zone here. They need to get a change as they've been on the ice for quite a while. And it looks as though they'll do that now. Ross playing the puck behind the net. A little dangerous touch there. And Western finally slowing it down a little bit. And it's skipped past Gerard. Gales have to regroup in the neutral zone. Is Seeley. She goes off the side. Touch pass in from Moray. Held at the line. Gerard back in her own zone. Deflected out into the Western bench. Looks as though we'll get a face-off.
That was a great shift for the Gales. They managed to keep a lot of pressure on Western and keep the puck in their end. And that's the kind of thing they want to do from here to the finish line.
Just outside the Western blue line, here comes the face-off. Back to Coghlan as she shoots on net. It goes just wide. And the puck is trapped on the back of the Western goal. So we'll get a draw coming here,
probably
likely
outside.
to the left.
Yeah, it'll probably come outside because I don't think it was touched by anybody.
And it appears as though that's the case. No touch called on the shot in there from Coghlan, so it'll come outside the zone. Coghlan playing it in once again. She gets it back in. Touched wide by Ross. Mustangs coming out. Green makes contact with Moray, but Coghlan stepping up. She tries to get a shot in. Batted away there by the Mustangs blue line. Western advancing up the right-hand side. And a great defensive play there from the Gales that comes back outside the zone. As Kidd dumps it in from the Mustangs, as Western making a change. Brittany McAfee calling for the pass, trying to take advantage of the Western substitution. Saunders playing it away from Queens. As it's Taryn Pilon trying to get into the corner and she's up there with Brittany and Morgan McAfee.
Yeah, that was a great play by Morgan McAfee there at center ice to keep Western on the defense.
And the puck is deflected off McAfee and looks as though it goes into the Gales bench. So we'll get another draw here. 10:51 here left to go in the third period. Queens leading Western by a score of 5-3. Gales with the only goal here in the third period so far, as Taryn Pilon recorded the goal for Queens. Coghlan gets it on goal, touched away by Ross. Mustangs trying to clear the zone. Played back as they cycle around. Saunders. Great offensive pressure here from Jacqueline. And Verbeek in the corner. She gets taken down. Mustangs finally get out and clear the zone. They break in along the right-hand side. Shot in on Dodd Moore as she handles it. Played behind the net. Mustangs with the offensive pressure now as the Gales and Mustangs get tangled up in the left corner. Doesn't look like anyone's going to be sent off. It looks like just a collision and both players drop to the ice. So we'll get a draw here to the right of Dodd Moore as both teams make a substitution.
Big draw at this point. We've got Griffin out there to take it. She wins.
Mustangs in behind the goal. Try to advance it back to the point. It's intercepted. Kidd playing the puck at the point for Western. And is dumped out once again, and this time breaking through the plane. Sent in, Dodd Moore deflects it into the corner. To be played out by the Gales. Katie Duncan. Duncan advancing out. Stretch pass has no recipient there as it skates all the way down to the end. Icing called on the Gales.
Yeah, she had the opportunity to pass it up the wing. There was a winger wide open there. She tried the more difficult pass. Hopefully this won't come back to haunt us.
Tried the stretch pass in the middle, but there was no one there to receive it. Goes all the way down. Icing called. Draw in the Gales zone. Western wins the draw as Kidd tips the puck in, comes outside the blue paint. Kristen Smith dumping it in and quickly going off for a Gales substitution. Taryn Pilon coming out, trying to create some pressure and keep the puck in.
I would imagine Coach Holmberg is going to shorten the shifts from here to the end of the game in the hopes of keeping everybody fresh.
Mustangs gain the zone. They're making a substitution as well as we're almost approaching the 11-minute mark here of the third period. Brittany McAfee skates in along the right-hand side. She's got Morgan with her. McAfee shoots, goes just wide. Taryn Pilon on. And Pilon gets it caught in her feet. She keeps the play alive. Pilon skating off the ice. as the Gales are trying to keep fresh legs here towards the end of the game, leading by 2. As Coghlan dumps the puck back in, trying to disrupt any offensive rhythm that the Mustangs might try and develop here. Queens doing a great job here. Icing waved off. Chipped along. It's Regier. Now it's Jacqueline advancing, and she can't get a shot away. Verbeek. Verbeek playing it along the corner. And Western breaks out. Chips it behind the net. Dodmore has to play it. Takes a funny hop off her stick. Gales have to recover quickly. And is shot in by Saunders. Western needs to get going offensively here. 8 minutes remaining in the third period. Their season on the line. And a tricky shot catches Dodmore off guard, but she's able to deflect it out. And the Gales just clear the zone. As Western's offense was generating some momentum, the Gales put an end by bearing it down to the other end of the rink. But as such, it's coming back for an icing call. Gales can't make the substitution.
Much better to chip the puck out over the line than to get called for icing like this. It's a very dangerous strategy.
Mustangs looking for a draw win here, but they don't get it. Queens winning the draw. Mustangs with possession. Shot on goal. Dodmore tips it wide. Western still with the puck in behind the net. Deflected back to the point. Shot is tipped and goes wide. Mustangs buzzing around the net here as they look to create a lane and get a shot on goal as they've got someone in front, and it tips off the skate, goes just wide. Western running out of time, 7 minutes left. They need to get an offensive push going here.
Bad break there as the puck got stopped by the referee.
And Mel Dodmore just trying to slow things down a little bit as Western trying to get some momentum going. And they had their lethal goal scorer, Stacy Scott, on the ice. She has just skated off to the bench now. But it was a great play by Dodmore to slow things down as she realized that Stacy Scott was on the ice trying to score for the Mustangs. Gales can't clear the zone. It's Coghlan. She goes into the corner. And it looks as though we have an injured Mustang down on the ice.
And I think he's going to call a penalty against Queens here.
No indication of that yet. Western bench getting very frustrated. Western head coach Chris Higgins screaming for a penalty here, but it doesn't look as though that's going to be the case.
Now there's a great break for Queens because he could easily have called that a penalty.
Injured Mustang was number 13, Casey Rosen, as she skates off the ice. Looks to be in a little bit discomfort as she holds onto her wrist. Face-off coming outside the zone. Galloway taking it for Western. And Griffin taking the draw for Queens. Mustangs deciding who's going to take the draw. It's Gosling as she comes up from the point. And the puck is chipped into the offensive zone. Taryn Pilon skating on. As Ross comes out outside of her crease to cover up the puck. Not taking any risks here and giving the Gales any more opportunity to put this thing any further away than it is at the moment. It is only a 2-goal game, but time is running out. 6:47 to go here in the third period from the Kingston Memorial Center. Gales looking to hoist the OUA banner with a victory in this game here. And Coghlan with a great defensive play that clears the zone. While Western retained possession. Saunders. She comes off the point. Gosling. And the Gales clear the zone once again. It's McAfee. And the puck is shot out of play by Saunders as it sails over the Gales bench and out of play. 6:21 to go here in the third period. Queens leading Western 5-3. Gales with the only goal of the third period. After we saw 4 goals combined by the teams in the second frame. We have 1 to speak of so far in the third. But Western pressing here, and it's Scott once again.
Nice defensive play there by Sam Regier to close out the Western forward.
Gales with the puck deep in their own zone. Try to play it along the side. And it's brought out front, and there's a tripping penalty here coming to the Gales. as the Western fans and bench appreciate the referee's call, as they've been looking for one for what seems like the whole game so far, at least in this third period, and they finally get the call here.
It's just what Western needed to get back in this game. Yet another power play opportunity.
It's number 11, Chelsea Verbeek, going off for the hooking call. Western with the man advantage here, and they have found success on the power play in this game so far. And there didn't appear to be a touch there, so that won't be a penalty to the Gales, as it'll come back into the Queens zone. Five-on-4 opportunity here, held in at the line by Cashin. She's the quarterback of this Western power play. Cashin at the top of the point as they cycle it around. Switching spots there, and they score! Gosling with the shot from the point. She finds a lane as it gets through legs, and Dodd Moore had no idea where the puck was. It goes between her legs. Western in business now, trailing 5-4 as they score another power play goal, and the Mustangs trailing 5-4 with 5.5 minutes to go here in the third period.
Yeah, tough to blame Dodd Moore on that when she was definitely screened on the play. It might even deflect it off of somebody.
For now, it looks as though it was Gosling getting credited with a goal. We'll wait to confirm with that. And it was Gosling, as she traded spots there at the point with Cashin and created a little bit of a disruption as she sent the puck in, and no defense there from the Gales as Western within a goal. Gales advancing with the puck. McAfee dumping the puck in, Katie Duncan, dumping the puck in and getting back to the point. And here come the Mustangs. Stick check there, no call. Great defensive play from the Gales. Gosling out to Saunders. Saunders, head man pass up there to Rosen, who's back on the ice after getting injured. Gales turn the puck back around to go one-on-one break along the left side, now 2-on-2. And a great defensive play there from Saunders as she chips the puck out of the zone. Western trying to keep the momentum going here. As the puck gets held, finally whistle comes in. Little chippy play after the whistle called there between the Mustangs and McAfee. Puck's going to be outside the Gales zone, in the neutral zone. 4 minutes, 14 seconds left of this Game 2 of the OUA Women's Hockey Championship from the Kingston Memorial Center. Gales leading 1-0 in the series. Have the opportunity to claim the banner if they can hold on here as the puck deflects off the Gales and out into the bench.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Holmberg shortens the bench a little bit here in the last 4 minutes and goes with 2 lines.
Draw one by the Gales. Chipped into the offensive zone as it goes off the sideboards. And now down. We've got Jacqueline. Jacqueline dumping the puck in as she skates off. Gales with possession deep in the Mustang zone. Fisher stepping up to keep the play alive. But the the Mustangs advance out. Odd man rush coming here for the Mustangs. And it's shot. Dodd Moore the save. Turned away by the Gales as they advance out. And the Gales with a 3-on-2 of their own turns into a 2-on-2. And McAfee losing control of the puck. Mustangs switching out as they advance. No contact called there. And it's Pilon. Pilon with the puck in the corner. Trying to take as much time off the clock as possible here now are the Gales. Whistle called. There'll be a defensive zone face-off for the Mustangs. 3:04 remaining here in the third period. Gales leading the Mustangs 5-4.
Be a good time for Western to use a timeout here.
Doesn't look like Chris Higgins is going to take the timeout here now. Mustangs just looking to continue the pressure that they've developed after their third power play goal. And it's Cashin in the corner. She turns it out. Gales with great offensive pressure here. Mustangs trying to clear the zone, and they do. As it's Gosling. 2.5 minutes remaining here in the third period. Here comes Seeley as she just dumps the puck in. And as Paul mentioned, the Gales going with a shortened bench as the McAfees and Pilon back up front for Queens as they try to stave off this push here from the Mustangs. And it's McAfee once again. Gerard skating back as the Mustangs advance through the zone. As they get a shot on goal, Dodd Moore deflects it behind the goal. Mustangs have to be looking at their goaltender, Ross, as she's likely to be skating off for the extra attacker coming up soon. 1:58 might be a little bit premature.
Coach Higgins is calling his timeout now, and he may well be discussing with his assistants whether to pull Ross.
2 minutes is plenty of time, but at the same time, one offensive breakout from the Gales with that empty net could effectively seal the game and the title for Queens. But the extra attacker on for Western creates a little bit more commotion on the ice, an extra body to get in front of Dodd Moore, and an extra person to get their stick on the puck, which could ultimately tie this game as we have less than 2 minutes remaining here in period number 3.
We'll have to watch. One of the things Queens has had trouble with throughout this season is getting the puck out of the zone when they have a good opportunity to do so. They got to make sure the puck clears the zone here.
Coming out of the timeout, the Mustangs have done just that as they have 6 skaters on the ice. Ross is out of the goal, onto the bench. 6 attackers out as Scott takes the draw for Western, won by the Gales, and sent around. Coughlin flex it back in. Gales clear the zone. Not threatening enough to create an offensive opportunity for Queens to bury. But Gosling, no deflection called. Gosling's tip deflected out of play into the Gales bench. It'll come outside the Gales zone, in the neutral zone here, as Deller going in to take the draw for Western.
Holmberg keeps Morgan McAfee out there for the face-off.
And it's this time the Mustangs winning the draw. Cashin trying to hold the line as there's a deflection off a skate and goes just wide. 1.5 minutes remaining here. Gosling advancing the puck in along the wing. Gosling shot, deflected. And the Mustangs can't keep the puck and they can't hold the line as it comes out. Gosling sends it over to Deller. Deller over onto the far wing. And the Gales just holding on here. Seeley playing the puck behind the net.
Cleared it right to a Western player though.
Deller advancing in. Duncan coming off the ice. Here comes Verbeek. Last minute of play, with 50 seconds remaining now here in the game. Gales leading 5-4. The opportunity to hold on and hoist the OUA banner. Mustangs trying to force a game 3. In the zone here now is the Mustangs. No penalty called. Looked like it could have been a trip. And the Gales just clear the zone. 30 seconds remaining now as the Memorial Center crowd comes to their feet. Western still creating some offense here as they get a shot through, and it goes just wide. Mustangs keep the puck alive. 19 seconds, another shot on Dodd Moore. Gosling holding the line for Western, just trying to throw anything at the Gales net right now. 10 seconds remaining. Here's Western with a shot. And it goes just wide. Last opportunity here for Western. No shot. And that's it. And the Queens Gales are the 2013 OUA Women's Champions as they take game number 2 and sweep the best of 3 series by a score of 5-4 on a brilliant defensive stand and goaltending performance there from Doug Moore to hold off the Mustangs in the final seconds of the game. Congratulations to the Gales, your 2013 OUA Women's Hockey Champions.
That was a great way for Dodd Moore to finish her career here, and I can't think of anyone better to be in net for that particular that victory. Congratulations to the Gales.
Queens now, as the representative from the OUA, will qualify for the CIS National Championship being held by the University of Toronto. We'll find out the remaining 3 competitors who will be at the CIS Championship, but we know representing Ontario as the OUA champions are the Queens University Gales.
My guess is that McGill is probably winning the Quebec Conference tonight to be the final team, the 6th team, and it looks as though we'll probably go in as the number 4 seed.
And we're going to keep going here with the presentation of the trophy and the OUA banner to the Gales, as it looks as though the Queens administrative brass is coming onto the ice, getting set with the banner and the trophy as it's in-house on the ice. Teams shaking hands. And Paul, as we discussed once again, the main storyline of this game was the play of both teams on the special teams.
Yeah, that's right. I think I saw more power play goals in this game than I have in any game this season. It makes it pretty nerve-wracking to win and lose games that way.
It was definitely a momentum game, as we saw from the get-go. Western got off the hop early, scoring the first goal of the game, and looked to take the energy out of the crowd here at the Memorial Center. But Queens responding with back-to-back goals to close out the first period, and they led 2-1 after 20 and scored 2 quick goals in the second frame to build a 4-1 lead. But the Mustangs showing their resiliency, clawing back, scoring 2 markers of their own in the second, leading 4-3 heading into the third period. And with the teams trading goals heading into the third period, ultimately the Gales held off a push at the end, and Queens are your 2013 OUA Women's Champions. Congratulations to both teams who pulled off somewhat of a mild upset in the semifinals. Gales defeating the 6th-ranked Guelph Griffins, and the Mustangs upending the Laurier Golden Hawks in a 3-game set. As we get set here, they're presenting championship hats here. It looks as though we're going to get a player of the game nod here for both teams.
First, we would like to present the Hero Sports Canada OUA Players of the Game. Each player of the game will be receiving a Hero Sports hat, courtesy of Hero Sports Canada. The Hero Sports OUA.
And with the Gales winning the title here, this is their 2nd OUA crown in the last 3 seasons. And as we announce players of the game, once again, Stacey Scott for the Western Mustangs, number 88. The 2nd-year kinesiology student from London. She's a local. She's been brilliant for Western all season. And Danielle Girard getting the nod for the Gales, as she was brilliant for Queens all game long. And she's getting the accolade there as the Queens Player of the Game in their title-clinching performance. And they're going through the rosters now, presenting each team with their medals. First, it'll be the Western Mustangs up to get their silver medals. And the Mustangs skating over to shake hands with the Gales as well. Nice act of sportsmanship there from both teams, as they know that this was a reciprocated effort from both clubs. Both teams fought hard, but the Gales coming away with that big victory on the road in London to open this series, as they defeated and shut out the high-flying Western offense by a 4-0 mark. And the Gales claiming this one in an offensive battle. 9 total goals, Gales winning 5-4. And this is heartbreak once again for the Mustangs, as this is the second consecutive year that they have lost in the OUA final. And unfortunately for the Mustangs and their fans, they will not qualify for the CIS National Championship that'll be held in Toronto by the University of Toronto Varsity Blues, which will assume the second OUA seed by virtue of being the host, and the Gales will push through as the OUA champion. And we mentioned at the top, talking about some of the other teams that'll be present at the CIS Championship, is the top-ranked Calgary Dinos, who have Haley Wickenheiser on their roster. And it looks as though the top-ranked and defending champion Calgary Dinos, the ex-women of St. Francis Xavier and Antigonish, Nova Scotia, who will likely assume the third seed. The UBC Thunderbirds, the second team out of the West in the Can West division, will likely assume the fifth seed, and the host Toronto Blues as the sixth. So we're still waiting on the Quebec representative, as the Ontario rep, the Queen's Gales, has been set in stone now. But the McGill Martlets and Queen's Gales are in a position to clinch those berths, as we saw the Gales have already done so. And the McGill Martlets are the favorite to come out of the Quebec division, but that game is still yet to be decided. McGill is likely to get the number 2 seed, leaving Queens as a likely number 4. But again, we are yet to see what the final result was coming out of the Quebec Championship. As we introduce now your gold medal winning Queen's Gales, as this has to be a great ending for a number of graduating players for the Gales, as they get a trip to nationals on their resume, as they get an opportunity to hoist the national championship as the best women's hockey program in the country. But again, we mentioned the competition level that'll be at this tournament. The Calgary Dinos, who are led by Haley Wickenheiser and her world-class resume, as well as a number of other programs across the country. But the parity in the OUA has perhaps prepared the Gales for a great run at the CIS National Championship, as they have fought tooth and nail over the last month, especially in this postseason, as they came back and won 2 straight against a tough Windsor team to advance into the semifinals. And they went on a tear from there, sweeping the Guelph Griffins in the OUA semis, and sweeping here against the Western Mustangs to claim the title. And we have just been informed that the Montreal Caravan have upset the McGill Martlets by a 3-2 tally, evening the series at 1 game apiece. Game 3 will come on Sunday at McGill, as the Quebec and final determinant of the CIS National Championship is still to be determined, and that will come live from Montreal on Sunday. And we should mention once again, if it's not obvious on the ice, that this is a best-of-3 situation in the OUA playoffs. And the Gales, as we said, went on the road with an impressive shutout 4-0 victory over the Mustangs in Game 1 of this best-of-3 set, and came home and fought hard. Momentum swung all game long, back and forth in favor of the Gales and the Mustangs, but eventually the Gales held off as head coach Matt Holmberg gets called up to receive his OUA gold medal, as do the training staff. And we should mention once again, the Gales badly outshooting the Mustangs in this game by a final tally of 45-18. So between both of the Mustangs goaltenders putting up 40 stops combined in a 5-4 losing effort, and the Mustangs only generating 18 shots on goal, has to be attributed to their downfall in this game. Not creating enough offensive opportunities. In the opportunities that they did get, they took advantage, but most of them were on the man advantage. And we hear once again, as we see the Gales posing with the banner and the trophy as your OUA champions for 2013. Team captains up receiving the banner and the trophy as they skate back to celebrate with their teammates. And with the largely Gales-oriented capacity here at the Kingston Memorial Center, They were treated to one of the best games of the season. 9 goals, as we mentioned, scored between both teams. And that's an image that Gales fans and players alike can take with them, as this is the final Gales team remaining for the 2012-2013 varsity season. And we are the champions, coming on over the speakers as the Gales remain on the ice celebrating as they get prepared for the CIS championship. Once again, the Queens Gales, your 2013 OUA champions. Thank you for joining us here on Queens TV. Duncan to McAfee. Duncan to Fisher. She gets a shot in and deflected in on the rebound there. Looks like McAfee in the middle as she was able to pick up the deflection off the original shot, and she buries the rebound home. Gales draw even at 1 apiece. Nonetheless, Gales retaining possession, shot out in front, and they score! As soon as the power play expires, Gales generating some offensive pressure, and they were able to get the puck out from behind the net. And it looks as though it was McAfee once again for Queens, as she was in a great position, found the lane, and